We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the One About San Diego Comic-Con. I am one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you doing?
Good. My mic is not muted anymore. How are you?
I'm doing well. Crazy week.
Yes.
With life things, crazy week with nerd things. Crazy week. How was your week in general?
Good. It was busy. I can't really complain. A lot going on. Life stuff, San Diego Comic-Con stuff, and just stuff. It's been busy.
No doubt. What's up, everybody in the chats already? Grabs, Lauren, Eric. How's it hanging and how's it doing this Sunday evening?
Grabs came to the wrong place.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say sorry to let you down so early, Grabs.
Right. Let him down easy. We got a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Grab's wife tomorrow.
What's up, Phil? What's up, Cookie? How's it going this evening?
It is a technical foul. You are correct, sir.
Muted mic. Yeah, headphones that don't work. Who can tell? All right, Chris. What did you get up to in the world of geek? We're going to talk about Comic-Con a little bit in the middle of the show, but before we get to that, let's start with what'd you consume this week? What'd you watch? What'd you read?
I actually didn't read a single book this week.
I think we said that last week.
Yeah, I just haven't had time, and like when I get downtime, I don't want to read anything. I just want to watch stuff.
Yeah.
So I've watched more Barry, and I've watched more Blackbird, of course. Only Murders in the Building, my usuals.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as reading, I can tell you what I wanted to read.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's try that.
I wanted to read Dual Power Bomb #2.
Yeah.
The Moon Knight anthology book, and I still would like to read Immortal X-Men whenever I get a minute to sit down. Oh, and Jurassic League. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Oh, and Grimm was out this week. I forgot about Grimm.
I was going to ask you about Grimm. I saw that I think it was issue 3 that was out this week. I was wondering if you were still keeping up on it.
I would be, yes.
Under normal circumstances, I would be, yes.
I mean, it looks good. I've heard it's good. What did you read?
A couple of things. So I read Do a Powerbomb #2, as well as Jurassic League #3. Bloodstained Teeth #4 was also out last week.
That too, yes.
But one of the ones that I really liked this week was Silver Coin #12. From Michael Walsh is the artist on it, creator of it, and the writer of issue #12 is Stephanie Phillips, which we're both I think fans of. #12 was a good one. I actually don't remember 11 or 10 as much, but #12 was definitely a standout over the last couple issues that I read of that one. And I know you haven't read that series yet, and I think I've been meaning, or I have told you that you should. I think you'd really like it.
I think I have the first volume of it somewhere.
Yeah, so that was the big reading thing that stood out to me this week for new stuff. For old stuff, I started to reread Why the Last Man, collected issues that I had, or collected books that I had of that. And it reminded me that I actually didn't watch the season finale or series finale of the TV show. Which I plan on watching. After tonight's show, actually. So yeah,
I just kind of came and went.
Yeah, it came and went. Marketed horribly. Nobody knew it came, and
Zeddy's just checking in.
Yeah, just checking in. Still there, Zeddy. Still there, bud. It's back in its regular spot.
Have you read this Punisher book, Welcome Back, Frank?
That's the name of the book?
Yeah, it's called Welcome Back, Frank.
No.
Okay. It's really popular. I kind of want to read it too. And I think I said I would a while ago, but I got that stack of stuff
It's a newer story?
No, it's like a classic Punisher story. It's like one of the most popular stories. If I'm not mistaken, Grab might be able to correct me on this. I believe one of the movies that we got from the Punisher was based on it.
Oh, the ones with Thomas Jane? And
I think the Thomas Jane movie is based on it, yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though.
Nice.
Zeddy strikes.
Wouldn't be Zeddy. Yeah. What's up, Nico? How's it going tonight?
When I hear Welcome Back, Frank, my mind goes to Welcome Back, Kotter.
That's the first thing.
Then that's a whole other rabbit hole.
A completely different side of the aisle.
Yeah, very different side. Not where we want to be, but I kind of like it. You know, you've not watched it. Okay, Grab's not watched any of the Punisher movies. I like all the movies we've had, including the Dolph Lundgren one.
Yeah,
But my favorite is actually Warzone. Have you
that's
seen
the
it?
yeah that. If I remember correctly, is that the one where he shoots a rocket at a guy in midair? Is
Probably.
it? I think so. I remember
It's the
watching
same
that.
one. Like he jumps and he like, if I remember correctly, he had his knee on the back of their head, and then they go face first onto like a fence spike. It's got the crazy action in it.
That's what I remember. I think I was watching it with my father and my brother at the time, and I just remember this guy jumping off a building, and Frank Castle's got this like bazooka or whatever, and he shoots it, hits the guy midair, and he just explodes into fiery rubble.
I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, of course.
It's better than John Travolta's villain.
I was gonna say John Travolta and Kevin Nash is the other thing that I remember from that one. He's in the striped shirt.
That's the Thomas Jane one.
That's the Thomas Jane one. Okay.
Yeah, the Ray Stevenson one is Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is there another movie? There might be another one. I don't know.
Isn't there two Thomas Jane ones, or is there two?
No, there's only
the other one.
There was the short with Thomas Jane and a laundromat.
Okay, I don't remember.
It was really popular online for a while there because they were like, why couldn't we get this version of the Punisher on screen?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like taking out a laundromat. It's a cool short.
Taken at a laundromat. I like that.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Grab's other comment about the thing that he was watching, he read The Last Ronin. Did you read any of that, the Ninja Turtle story? Because I saw that it was announced at Comic-Con that there's a sequel to it.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't read it. I wanted to read it when it was collected. Now it's collected, and I just haven't gone to get it yet. Cool, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you watch or you caught up with episode 5 of Only Murders in the Building?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Interesting episode.
Very interesting episode.
Yeah. Not sure if you want to go into spoilers or not. It's a little, I don't remember when it comes out during the week. But
Tuesdays.
Okay, Tuesdays. So it is a bit, so I'm not sure if you want to get into
Maybe
it. Maybe
somebody has watched it. I don't know.
Yeah. Grabs will let us know, I'm sure.
Maybe we'll just go light on that one.
Okay, light on that one. Yeah. The biggest thing is the stuff with what's her name, who's in jail now.
Jan.
Jan. I found the stuff with him and Steve Martin's character very interesting in this episode. I like the, I don't want to say a twist, but the connection that they're forming through glass. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's kind of like a new version of the relationship where she's clearly crazy now. Where she was hiding it before, and he's still into it, which is something else.
It's very interesting. Yeah, like he doesn't want to be. He's trying. Like in the beginning of the episode, he's kind of persisting, and then by the end of the episode, it's like they're actually embracing each other.
Yeah, it's
in a way very interesting.
It is. It's different. I wasn't expecting like a Silence of the Lambs romantic relationship.
Yeah, Joker, Harley Quinn kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know which one of them is which in this scenario right now. But I do like it. I think it's cool. I think the big thing though for me was that ending. The thing with Teddy. Did not expect that.
Yeah, very interesting how they. And Grabs is right. He said Oliver stole the whole episode. This was a very heavily focused Oliver Martin short episode with like the flashbacks, the family stuff. I liked it. It's probably the best work I think Martin Short's done in the series so far.
I would say so. Well, they let him really run with it in this one, I think.
Agreed, for sure. Yeah, very, very another great episode. And I was kind of concerned about it too because it was going. I don't know. It was going all over the place a little bit. The stuff with the past, the stuff with Mabel's girlfriend, Cara Delevingne, or I can't remember her name. Yeah, they seemed like they were going all over the place, and Oliver and his family and his kid, and the play and everything. But then it really kind of formed into a cohesive story by the end of it. And like you said, that ending really sold a lot of people apparently. So
yeah, it's just a really, really well written show, and for a show with so many characters and they're all different. Like none of them are really the same. They all have very different personalities.
Yep. And
it always comes together really well. I can't praise the show enough. It's one of the best surprises I found I think the first thing was last year. It was one of the best surprises of last year.
Yeah, agree 100%. And we mentioned it last week. It's awesome. There's going to be a season 3, so it's going to be interesting. So we're at episode 5. Can't remember how many episodes we said there was going to be.
I don't. I think it was 8.
Last week.
Maybe it was 8. Maybe
Over the halfway mark, anyways.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, so like I caught up on some stuff today, but basically the whole week was kind of waiting for Comic-Con, waiting to see what was going to happen at Comic-Con. I wasn't expecting it though. Like there was so much. I don't know if there was too much. Was there too much at Comic-Con? Because like I'm trying to, and I mentioned this into a tweet a couple days ago, or a conversation with you about trying to remember everything that there was. Like it started on Thursday. It is still going on today.
Yes.
There's just entirety, trailers, panels, reveals, announcements, everything. So leading up to Comic-Con, Chris, I don't know you don't have to say your expectations, but how excited were you for the madness of San Diego Comic-Con?
I was really excited just because it wasn't just about one panel; it was the whole thing. We had an onslaught of comic news that I knew was coming, the movie stuff, TV stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I was very, very excited for Comic-Con this year, and rightfully so. It's the first big event we've had in years, because we've had smaller stuff like there was Fandom, there was D23, which it's a big deal, but it's not live streamed the way Fandom is, so it's less of an interactive kind of thing, so it was a huge deal. I was very, very excited.
And was there anything in particular that you were looking forward to? I know we've talked about a couple of things personally, or between the two of us, but what were you really looking forward to
beforehand?
Going into the weekend? Yeah.
I mean, beforehand, it was the DC panel, the Marvel panel, the Interview with the Vampire panel, and also the Gotham Knights thing. That I don't think that has come online, the panel itself. The trailer is for the game, but not the panel. I'd like to watch the panel. So if anybody has a link for that, just kind of send that my way. Yeah, I don't mind if it's off the cell phone. I don't care. As long as I can hear it. Same thing with the Ant-Man footage. If you got it, let me know.
Yeah, just let us know. That's right. So then what caught your attention? How do you want to break down Comic-Con, Chris? There was so much.
I was hoping you had an idea.
Okay, so let's start with let's start with something a little smaller. We'll leave the DC Marvel stuff maybe towards the end. So let's start with a couple of things. No, I'm going to start with those. Let's start with Interview with the Vampire. They had a panel. They had a trailer that we were actually waiting for. We got pictures, we got small little teasers put out by AMC in their marketing. We got small story tidbits, but we didn't really get much else. I think this was obviously for many reasons the first big weekend, the first big marketing push for the series.
It was, yeah.
Chris, what'd you think about the trailer?
Surprisingly, I liked it a lot. There's a lot there to digest. There's a lot of changes, but I think approaching it as its own entity and an adaptation of something, and not just a literal adaptation, more of a loose adaptation, I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we talked about this, about how they're making this the show. It's different than the movie, and I asked you about who are they making this for, and I wondered about who are the people who are going to be watching it. Are they going to be fans of the movie from the mid-90s? Are they going to be fans of the books? Are they going to be a fan of both? Or are they going to have no knowledge of the series altogether? And maybe, people in the comments, what's your knowledge? What's your predisposed notion of what Interview with the Vampire is? Have you watched the movie? Have you read the books? Do you know the storyline? Myself, all I know is the movie. That's it. We're trying to talk ourselves into the changes that they're making to the show, Chris. Lots of changes, whether big ones with Louis, the different races, the time setting, the ages of certain characters, that kind of thing. Chris, you explained, I tried to explain it to you. There was almost like 70-30 people who were only knowledgeable about the movie versus people who know the books as well. And I don't know. Do people care? Or you think people care about this big change, Chris? The change of the characters, the change of the setting, the change of everything. Now that we've seen the trailer and what the story actually looks like,
I think some people will care, and I understand that. just because it's not a story that gets adapted every couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The last adaptation was 1994. We are quite a ways from that adaptation.
Yeah.
And the other time they tried adapting something from these stories was in 2002, I think it is, Queen of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a whole other kind of crap,
Yeah.
which I own. But
Yeah, there you go. Sadly.
well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand people being upset that there's changes because you want to see what you read and what you consume
Mm-hmm.
directly translated, but some things just don't it doesn't work like that. Especially something like this where you talk about the character of Claudia, who is based on Anne Rice's daughter that passed away.
Hmm.
And at the time of her passing, I believe she was 6 to 8 years old, so that's why the character is 6 to 8 years old. I don't remember the exact age. And so in the books, Claudia is pretty vicious at times, and she's also very adult at times, which you can't do that on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Some things just don't translate well. It's like Wolverine wears yellow spandex. I don't want to see that on screen. I don't. Some things just don't translate. So I think, we're all going to have to accept the changes with it. And if people don't want to watch it, that's up to them. I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mentioned to you, like, if you understand, if you put into your head that like the story doesn't exist. This is the first ever storytelling of Interview with the Vampire. It looks great. As far as I'm concerned, and I think I saw some people online recently, maybe it was between you and Ian, talking about the acting, how it felt a little animated, or they were a little
animated.
over the top or something.
They're a bit animated.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, like when there's that scene in the trailer, I don't know if anybody's incredibly familiar with the trailer right now, but where Louis is like, "Father, help me," and he's really selling it.
Mm. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think he could have just dialed it back because he's something. He's just very animated there. I don't know.
Okay.
But I guess also it's hard to judge that without the context.
Yeah.
And another thing, like again in the books, Louis is a very calm, sad individual.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically Eeyore is a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
There's in one of the books, Lestat gets mad at him because he's so depressing. Even like 120 years later, so he burns down the shack that Louis lives in to mock him. It's a literal shack. He hates himself so much he doesn't think he deserves to live in anything else. So Lestat says, "Well, guess what?" He burns it down on him. And I don't really get that from this version. So that is kind of one of the bigger changes I'm looking at. But again, I'm here for it. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm interested in the subject matter as well. How strong they go with violence, with the sexual nature of the characters, because the trailer specifically really teases the sexual nature between Lestat and Louis.
Yeah,
which was they're not shying away from that fact or their relationship. No, sure they. So I was wondering, like, AMC's a good show for or a good a network for laying it all out there, whether it be The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad or what have you. That kind of thing. So I'm interested in the subject matter to see how bloody and gutsy it gets. What and from the trailer specifically, and obviously the story is too, but it's very grounded. Everything feels very real, very lived in. The sets look very good, costumes, that kind of thing. Production value on the show from the short Comic-Con trailer is very high. So that has me very excited about the show as well.
Yeah, I think all that stuff, we're in good hands with AMC. I mean, you look at any of the Walking Dead series, or even there are other things like, what was that the martial arts show they had? I forgot what it was called.
The Warrior one?
Yeah.
Based on the Bruce Lee stories or whatever.
That looked really good too. Yeah. I mean, AMC puts out good products, so I'm not too worried about that aspect. I'm just hoping the story works, which, again, I like the trailer, so we'll go from there.
And you think you're fully separated from what Interview with the Vampire is now and what this is? I was going to say you have to be, but
right, there's no choice.
Yeah.
Because just watching the trailer, you could just pick things that, hey, that's not right. That's not, even the simplest stuff like retractable fangs, not a thing.
Right.
The extreme blood, not a thing. Like the gore, not a thing.
Yeah.
Other stuff. So you really just have to separate it, which I think it also makes it easier. And I know this will probably take us into our next topic,
Mm.
It makes it easier when we're so used to having to do that with our comic book stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go into these comic book movies expecting literal translations because we're going to end up disappointed 9.5 times out of 10.
100%. Yeah, no doubt.
If you had to rate the trailer, what blood type would you give it? Is I guess type A is a blood type, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say be positive. Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
if I said it was type O, that would be weird.
Yeah. O negative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, we don't need to do that. It was just a good trailer.
One of the other things that, and I know you missed it, but I was following pretty heavily, was the Star Trek panel.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for that. So they announced, or they didn't announce, but they had Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden from The Next Generation out to talk about season 3 of Picard, and they showed kind of a character teaser for the third season. So it brought back all the original members of The Next Generation. You know, Worf was there, Geordi LaForge, Deanna Troi, Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher. So they brought them back, and they were all in their new fancy uniforms and sang Star Trek-y things. And it was just kind of a surreal moment seeing Michael Dorn as dressed up as Worf again. You know, he's got all the white hair, and he's full Klingon gear. He's got his the weapon that they use. I can't remember what it's called.
Isn't it an axe or something?
Yeah, some kind of weird axe. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a B. I can't remember. Anyway, it's just awesome to see them after so many years. We did see Deanna Troi and Will Riker in season 1 of Picard, but it'll be interesting having them back again. And then they showed a trailer for Star Trek Lower Decks, which is the animated show with Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid's a part of that?
Yeah, he's the voice actor of the main the main kid. Yeah, Boimler is his name
I like Jack Quaid
in the show. He spends a lot of the show screaming and yelling, which is kind of a Jack Quaid thing. He's always screaming and yelling about things. So I was really amped up about that. And they had a panel with some people from Strange New Worlds. And they actually mentioned that there's going to be a crossover between Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks.
Yeah, okay, so that's the thing I did see. And I didn't understand how that's supposed to work, but I'm curious.
I'm wondering, so like I am assuming like Jack Quaid, who voices Boimler, will be in Strange New Worlds.
Or maybe older Batman will be in.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. Anson Mount.
Anson Mount. Want to be Batman.
Yeah, older Batman.
will be in Lower Decks. I think that's a lot of fun. That's kind of the, one of the huge selling features for Lower Decks is the constant references to past Star Trek things and now current Star Trek thing. So that'll be really cool. So that was something I'm really excited about. And like I said, you missed it, Chris. It's like there was just so much happening.
There was.
And so much happening.
Like Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power had a full panel.
Yes.
Didn't see any of it. I saw the trailer. That was, I mean, we'll get into that, but there was so much stuff. I know I missed some of the comic things too. I did catch the Spider-Man X-Men crossover coming though. Sign me up for that.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. It's called Dark Web.
Okay. I saw the Todd McFarlane saying that there's a Batman Spawn one coming again, which will be interesting.
I think they've had a crossover before, but I didn't read that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to check this out. And he got Capullo back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was hoping for some more clarity on the Dark Crisis event, how it was going to lead into the future of DC, and all they really announced that it was a sequel to Infinite Crisis, which we kind of already knew already.
Yeah, I thought that was like common knowledge. But
I thought it was too. So they announced a couple more spin-off books and talked a little bit about it, but nothing else really about the future of the DC universe after Dark Crisis. So that's what I was kind of hoping for with the comics, but that's okay too.
Did you check out the Paul Dano Riddler comic?
I saw the covers of it. I saw that, what's his name? Bill Sienkiewicz, I think.
I can't pronounce it.
Is doing the covers for it. Really excited. Again, that was something we kind of already knew, but it's good to see the cover and good to see Paul Dano actually out talking about it, which is kind of cool.
That was cool that he came and he talked. That was neat. I like seeing that interaction. I know a lot of people were like, do we need this? No, we don't. But we're still going to read it.
Of course.
I mean, when it comes out, we're still going to read it.
I thought it was interesting that Matt Reeves was promoting it in a way, too.
Well, it ties into
tweeted about it, so.
Yeah, it ties into the movie but in some way. Plus, I would imagine he sees Dan. I was like, okay, you're my guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, there's some kind of more storytelling happening here. Matt Reeves is involved somehow, or not really sure.
I hope he got his pumpkin pie. If not, I'll have some pumpkin pie for him.
That's right.
I don't know why. That's one of my favorite lines in the movie. I ordered pumpkin pie or whatever. He's just so innocent. I love it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that first, real shot of him in his face. He just looks like a schoolboy, and
Yeah, he looks like a little
he just
kid.
wants to enjoy his pumpkin pie. And these cops are chafing his style. What's the
Yeah,
deal?
but when he's got that mask on, he's basically the devil.
Yeah.
They did, and they asked him about the Batman 2 or any sequel, and he said he would like to come back, which I think we all know.
Sure.
And he said he'd specifically like to work with another good actor like Barry.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was a good quote. Like, oh, you want to team up with that guy? Of course. Me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I thought that was cool. The Riddler comic. There's a lot of other comic news too, like smaller stuff, but nothing really. I think that was mind blowing.
Yeah, not that I could think of. Like, it was more the panels. I think I saw that there was a Jim Lee panel, a Tom King, Tom Taylor panel, which would have been fun. Because that's the whole joke, is that no one can tell them apart, and people call Tom Taylor the same person. So it's very much a fan event. If you're going, it's hard to enjoy, 75% of the whole event from home.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Comic-Con. Even though, like I said, I was very amped for it, you got to have the expectation. Most of what's there, we won't be able to consume until a later date.
Sure.
If even then, because some of this stuff never comes out.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, there was a teaser for Age of Ultron back when. That trailer was never released to the public, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think, what was it that the Suicide Squad trailer was leaked from a couple years back, and then it forced WB to release it online?
Yeah, the response was so, I guess, was so positive to it. They said, well, we'll just put it on there.
That's right.
And then they did so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Comic-Con, we miss out on the panels. We get like pieces of them or bootleg clips, which are always nice. Just throwing that out there.
We'll still take them if you have them.
Right. We get that stuff. But it is an event for the people who go there and sit in the lines, which I appreciate.
Sure. Okay, so let's talk DC Marvel, and then we'll end with Game of Thrones and Rings of Power.
Was there a Game of Thrones panel?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there was.
Yep.
Somebody asked Matt Smith about Morbin Time.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Of course they did.
They did.
All right, let's start with the DC panel. So right off the bat, we got the new Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer. What did you think about that?
I absolutely love that trailer. I love the first one, though. The first Shazam, I think it's a great movie. So I am really excited for the new one. I think this trailer did exactly what it needed to.
I agree with you 100%. I was actually surprised how much I liked the trailer and how good the movie looks through the trailer. Whether it be, there's a giant dragon, lots of special effects, that kind of thing. I like how much they're showing the Shazam family as well. They're not hiding that. Wait, you don't like that?
I don't like the Shazam family.
Oh, okay. Really?
I like the aesthetic of them. I think they look cool.
Yeah.
But I think we needed to wait to bring them in, just because in the first movie they come so quickly. I don't know. It doesn't feel earned to me.
Okay.
Even though I love the movie, I'm just saying. And in this one, it looks like it's very much a team movie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not what I expected. But I guess there's also multiple villains, so why not? And there's dragons.
It's all about family, Chris.
It is all about family.
I thought that was a lot of fun, that line.
It is. You got to live your life a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah.
Once you live your life at a quarter mile at a time, you are free.
Yeah, I wondered for a long time what they were going to do with the kids. Obviously, they are a lot older now than they were, and specifically the young girl. She was the youngest, and 2 or 3 years passed, and all of a sudden, she could be 6 feet tall for all we know. So I was wondering how they were going to do it, if they were going to de-age them somehow, like It Chapter 2. Anything like that, but I'm glad they didn't. They just like themselves, and they actually didn't show a lot of the kids as well. Like there was specifically Billy says, I don't even know if he has any lines in the entire trailer other than Shazam. Not that I can
I don't know.
recall or remember.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, so I thought this one was really interesting how they focus very much on Zachary Levi. Like he's full force the front of the trailer.
I like that though because I think a lot of people discounted him in the first one.
Yep.
I think a lot of people did. They didn't see him as a headliner or anything. But when you watch that movie, it works because of Zachary Levi. A lot of it does. Like his delivery and the way he does it, it's him. So it makes sense to me to make sure you focus on him this time. And he seems to love doing it. Like the clips of the everything, he seems to love it. So yeah, I like it.
Well, he's in an interesting spot too. You know, he's like acting and promoting the movie with people that are more than half his age. You know, he seems like he's having a good time with it. You know, I don't want to say he's joking around and marketing with kids, but he's basically marketing the movie with kids. And the director of the film, David Sandberg, if you've watched any of his YouTube videos that he does, he's not the most outgoing person and excitable and talkative person. So it's interesting how he's like over the top, over the moon type of guy, and everyone else is either a kid or more of an introvert, like the director is. So yeah, Zachary Levi is great. I like how it starts with him, talking about how sad he is and how down he is, and then by the end of the trailer, he says this is the best, or he says the best job ever, the best day ever, or
something.
I can't remember the phrase of it. Anyways, it's just fun how it flipped back and forth between how down he was and how excited he was. So I was very surprised with Fury of the Gods. I was excited about it before. Like you said, I'm a big fan of Shazam #1, the first one. And the trailer got me even more excited for the movie to come.
Yeah, I am. Also, I wanted to add, I like that we got to look at the villains too. Because I thought it's really cool that Lucy Liu is a villain in this.
Yep.
But Helen Mirren you can't beat that.
Yep.
And the prestige Helen Mirren brings to it, come on, it's awesome.
Yeah, that was another thing. They focused more on Helen Mirren than they did with Lucy Liu and
Rachel
Ziegler. So interesting how obviously it's the Comic-Con trailer. I don't even know if you classify it as the first trailer. So still lots more to come and lots more to sell going forward.
So he's got an interesting comment here, and I know we're going to get to this, but I'm going to read his comment first.
Okay.
Both Black Adam and Shazam, Fury of the Gods look awesome, but I still think there should have been more overall, especially when you look at what Marvel did a few hours later. And then he follows it with, if I'm a DC fan, I'm going to pay $500 or more and camp out to get in Hall H. And all we got in an hour presentation was just 2 movie announcements and no announcements. I feel lowballed as a fan. Ouch.
Yeah, Zeddy's coming in pretty with the deep cuts there.
Phil's got a deep cut too. I think Phil's knife might still be bleeding on this one. Marvel stole the show, and DC didn't even know it hit them. Wipe the blade, fellas. Come on.
They're fierce.
We'll get to that though.
So then next up for DC was obviously Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
The showman, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has been hyping this thing up for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and he finally gets to. Like promote himself as Black Adam. I think this is the first real time. I have to remember how much of the fandom. Obviously, it was just green screen work, not in front of fans. This one's like he's the first real time that he's in front of people. As Black Adam. Obviously, he showed up in the suit and everything as Black Adam, that kind of thing. And they showed, and they showed. I guess there was like a minute 5 seconds. Comic-Con teaser or what have you. I'm not really sure what it really was. We saw some extended scenes from what we've already seen in that first trailer. Chris, what'd you think of what was shown to us, you and I, from Black Adam?
Meh. I like the JSA stuff.
Yep.
I think the Dr. Fate thing is really, like, the stuff with him was cool. Cyclone, Atom Smasher, all that was cool. Hawkman, I love the shot. I tweeted this too, where Hawkman's coming at Black Adam and Black Adam grabs the staff. So cool. But I think I'm just not sold on Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. And I was hoping I would be, but I'm not. And I'm trying. It's just The Rock.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah,
it's The Rock in a very cool Halloween costume.
very cool.
But it's just, I don't know. The trailer's cool though. I'm going to see the movie, of course. I'm excited, but I just wish he was a better actor. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally fair, and that's that's a fairly common criticism as well, is that people just see The Rock, they don't see Black Adam.
Yeah, and like you follow Shazam with this, where you don't see Zachary Levi in the role, you see Shazam or Billy, I guess.
Sure.
And then in here, it's okay. Just give him a microphone, and we could smell what he's cooking. You know what I mean?
I get it. I'm agreeing with you about there's certain shots in the little teaser that were outstanding. That Black Adam one and the Dr. Fate one as well, where there's seemingly multiple Dr. Fates.
That's what it looks like
around him, and he's shooting up his lightning or whatever. So yeah, some of the shots are looking really, really good. It's hard to tell. It was only a minute or so Comic-Con thing. Again, it's hard to judge anything on it, but I think there were things that I liked and some things that I didn't like as well. I'm not as hung up on The Rock being Black Adam, but some of the dialogue or some of the scenes are a little funky. I take it back to that very first trailer we saw, where there's that one scene where the guy hits him over the head with a bar, and then he shoots him like 1,000 feet in the air or whatever. I thought that was a little cheesy. They didn't have as much of that in this one, but I think what was really exciting about it was they really focused on Dr. Fate a lot. Yeah, which is not something I expected. And kind of left Cyclone. We saw a little bit of her, and Atom Smasher, who we also saw a little bit of. But Dr. Fate's really getting a lot of push in these short little trailers.
I'm kind of, based on what we got here, I'm thinking he's kind of like a facilitator in a way. He's the Professor X, if you will, or Magneto, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe even the Superman who has to gather everybody. I think that's maybe his purpose in the movie, which works for me. And I just love Pierce Brosnan. So
yeah, it's hard not to like him. He's just obviously Bond, but he's such a classy guy.
He's the guy from Mrs. Doubtfire. It was run by Trudy.
I always think of him from the Thomas Crown Affair too.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
It's the trailer at Comic-Con was better than the online one. Amanda Waller is in it.
I didn't know
there's a trailer with Amanda Waller in it.
Well, I saw that people were tweeting about Amanda Waller somehow, saying, and I assumed it was just like The Rock said, "Oh, she's in the movie," but that would make sense.
Well, they said at the panel she's in it. I think they said in the panel. I don't know. Was there a trailer though? That'd be cool. That's actually something I'm interested in though. I like the connectivity there with Amanda Waller in it because I love Amanda Waller.
Sure.
So that's a cool thing. And I don't hate The Rock, for the record. I love The Rock. It's just I just wish he was a better actor.
Yeah, being able to transform himself from being himself.
Right.
Which can be a tricky thing when he spent his whole life being basically one character. The Rock from WWE, like Graf says.
Oh,
so there you go.
Cool.
Thank you, Frank. Good
yeah,
to
if
know.
anybody has footage.
I was going to say, Frank, you got that trailer. Just hit us up. So that was it for the DC panel at Comic-Con.
There was also the really, really cool entrance. The Rock made that. Oh. Yeah, as Black. That was so cool. It looked awesome. We did get to see that. So
well, yeah, like I said, him in the suit, like he's fully embracing who he is, or this character who's he's signed to play the character 10 years ago or something. So
that was cool.
He better have his enthusiasm up pretty high for it, considering how long he's been planning on playing the character. So I followed the DC panel as it was going on, but then I completely missed the Marvel panel in the evening. I caught everything afterwards. Chris, did you follow along with the Marvel panel as it was going on?
Oh, I was glued to my phone the entire day yesterday. It was kind of gross.
Okay. So obviously we were shown a She-Hulk trailer. We were shown the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, and obviously humongous announcements about basically their entire Phase 5 slate, and then what's coming actually a little bit in their Phase 6 slate. We got 2 Avengers movies announced. We got release dates for a whole bunch of other stuff, and what's coming to Disney with the Agatha
Coven of Chaos.
Yeah, the TV show and what have you. So we can talk about the slate if you a little bit after the trailer stuff. Let's talk about what we were shown first, Chris.
Okay.
Let's start with She-Hulk. And obviously we got more confirmation about Charlie Cox coming back with the Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio coming back for the new Daredevil project. And then we get obviously it's fairly certain it's a shot of Daredevil in the She-Hulk trailer as well. What do you think about the She-Hulk trailer?
I liked it a lot. I enjoyed the first one though too. The trailer we got a few months ago,
Okay.
but this one I think was better. It showed more of the story. I really so the plot of her having to defend the Abomination. I love that. That's so smart. Because you could have just put her to defend any random criminal, but why not a criminal we already know who wrecked Harlem? So I love that. Plus, I love seeing Tim Roth again.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's really cool. The humor works for me in the trailer. I think the CGI is fine.
Okay.
I know people are probably still upset about it, and that's fine. To each their own. I don't mind it. I mean, the Hulk to me never was amazing looking anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't expect her to be either. But I say amazing, but I mean like perfect. But I do like the way it looks, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that humor. Holy cow, did they rely on that humor a lot in this trailer?
Well, they said it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they're doing it. I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything because I really don't know anything about the character at all. But I was really surprised, like the first 30, 40 seconds maybe with the Hulk and She-Hulk like training. Bruce kind of teaching her how to be, and she's already good. She's already who she wants to be. She's already very confident. So yeah, and he's like doing yoga and all that kind of stuff, and she's flipping around doing backflips and what have you. I like this one better. I like this trailer better than the first one. I think she looks better, and I like more of the story beat to it as well. What is she doing? Why is she doing it? I think it's going to be a lot of fun, this one, and I think the humor, as much as they're laying it on pretty thick, I hope I don't get tired of it like I do most of the time with a lot of the MCU quips and comedy stuff. But if it's being sold as a comedy, it's a completely different thing as well.
Yeah, I think they're calling it the first MCU comedy. I could be wrong on that, but they're just framing it that way from the start. It is a full-on comedy.
Yeah, Hawkeye was pretty funny a lot of the time.
It was, but it wasn't billed as a comedy.
Okay, got it.
That was more like a action comedy. I don't know, but it wasn't billed as a full-on comedy like this is.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I am most of the time for Disney Plus shows. It's not that far away. I think it's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, it's sometime next month.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. But obviously, the big thing that a lot of people are talking about is the inclusion of Daredevil and more Daredevil. Like Zeddy says, 18 episodes. 18
glorious episodes.
What's with this 18? They go from 6, not giving their heroes enough time to breathe, to tell a story, and they're almost tripling it.
I think because it's an established character. I think that's the difference. Like newer characters, you get 6 episodes, do what you will. Established, we know people like you. Here's 18, do what you want to do. And here's a brand new yellow suit that you guys have been asking for. Because it's gorgeous, by the way. Yeah,
it'll be interesting how they work it. Obviously, the lawyer things is a easy common connection. And we saw, obviously, Matt Murdock in No Way Home. And we saw Wilson Fisk in Hawkeye. So the seeds are everywhere, as always with the MCU. So it'll be really cool how they keep that going towards the Daredevil show, which is I think next year.
24.
It's okay. 2024. Okay,
it's got a ways. They'll be filming it next year, but it's 24.
Got it.
Frank's got a point here. Hawkeye's Kingpin was rough.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. I think.
Yeah, I didn't dislike him, but he was different. They treated him like a horror movie monster. He was unstoppable.
Yeah,
it was weird. It's different from the colder, calculating Kingpin we had with 3 seasons of Daredevil.
Vincent D'Onofrio is awesome in anything that he does. So I'm okay with a different Kingpin from what we saw in the Netflix's Daredevil, which was he's absolutely 100% ruthless and I don't think we're going to get that with the Disney Plus one. We'll get more of the Hawkeye one.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting. I just love Vincent D'Onofrio though. So
You know that Marvel Zombie show got the TVMA rating, which opens the door.
That was another thing, yeah.
For more like not adult but darker content. I mean, they have Logan and Deadpool on there right now on Disney Plus. You could watch Logan. I think the first dialogue of the movie is an F-bomb. So
yeah, that was another big thing over the weekend. The Deadpool coming there, and the rumors of Deadpool 3. People who want and like and appreciate the R-rated nature of Deadpool are hoping that the Deadpool 3 stays that way too.
I'm sure it will.
So then the other thing we saw, and this one took a lot of people by the trailer specifically, and the content of it took a lot of people by surprise, and that's the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were expecting this, or we were told that we were getting it at the trailer. Okay.
Yeah, we knew.
So, Chris, what did you think of the trailer? Well, no. Tell me your thoughts on the trailer. I know you think you probably liked it, like a lot of people did. What'd you think?
I was impressed from it because I have been very down on War for Wakanda. I did not like the concept of it. I didn't understand what they were doing, and the stuff that was leaking out, I didn't get it. Like, it's a movie without Black Panther.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But it's called Black Panther. But then, seeing the trailer, like, oh, this does work. This looks really interesting. This is beautifully shot.
Yep.
I like this. And then, of course, you do get the money shot with the claw pop at the end. They're like, okay, we're good. But beforehand, I was just like, how are you going to make a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? A Black Panther.
Sure.
It didn't have to be a recast, but stick the suit on somebody. So, no, it impressed me, though. Now I am on board completely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. The trailer looks outstanding. The music is outstanding. How it builds to the end. The shots in it, again, outstanding. Ryan Coogler, Aaron says it. Ryan Coogler is one of the best in the business. From Creed to Black Panther to Fruitvale Station. I love Ryan Coogler. He's outstanding. Have no problems with Jing. The biggest issue that I have, and I don't know if anybody's talking about this. I don't know if it's going to be weird. You can let me know, Chris. But is Marvel using Chadwick Boseman's death to sell this movie?
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think that it's just a trailer. But judging by the trailer, I think that they're honoring him in a way to make the story more impactful. But I wouldn't say they're selling it on his passing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just something about it really caught me off guard. Like, his mother, his girlfriend, his sister, they're all mourning him. And we're all saying, oh, man, this is really sad. The guy died in real life. It's just something. I don't know what it is. It just feels like, okay, they're making me feel sad for a movie, for these characters in a movie.
We should.
But the real person died, and they're selling the fact that he died, and they're making his character now die in the movie, and they're selling us this movie. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it rubs me the wrong way. I get the in memoriam thing. He should not be forgotten. Chadwick Boseman should not be forgotten. What the first Black Panther movie did should not be forgotten. They're selling me a movie based on real life event of a person dying in this same movie. And I don't know, like, people are, I don't know if they're not, are they embracing it? They're embracing it by telling a news story, saying, oh, this is going to be good now because we're going to do something completely different. He's gone, so let's just keep going forward. And like we were all saying, well, how can you do this? How can you make a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? Just recast if you want to keep going, to keep the Black Panther character going.
I mean, you could stick the suit on anyone else, which is what they've done, and I'm cool with that. But I get what you're saying. I don't know if I see it that way. I think that in a way we're going to be on the emotional journey with the family, and maybe that's the point of it, because like when Angela Bassett's character screams, "I've lost my family," my whole something like that, that hits.
Sure.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
that is a weird thing. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody talked about it, and I wasn't sure if it was a weird thing or not. A promotion of a real life death, and then okay, the character died. Let's tell that story. Well, what if the character actually died in the movie? I don't know. Something about it just feels weird.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. That is something to think about, though.
I don't know. I'm just a weird person. Maybe that's just a weird way of thinking about death and a way about how you in memoriam, how you remember somebody. Do you remember them, or do you say, yeah, okay, well, let's keep going? Let's keep telling the story. It's a different thing about real life death and a character's death in a movie. It's just something about it I can't separate them two at this point. I don't know.
Well, I also think we're not going to see like this is about to get really morbid. I don't think we're going to see like a coffin or a body or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they're going to leave it open somehow, just in case they want to come back in the next film or whatever and say, "Hey, T'Challa is back somehow." You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, how are they explaining this death? And like you said, I didn't even think about that, Chris. How if they show a funeral, like that's weird too. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Weird thing for me to I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Good trailer, though.
Great trailer. It looked great. It sounded amazing. And that final shot with whoever's in the Black Panther suit. I think. Who do you think that is? Do you think it's Shuri?
I thought it was Shuri, and then Frank's comment just distracted me. To be honest, Disney doesn't have a soul, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not wrong though. Frank's not wrong there. What was I saying? Yeah, Shuri. It might be Shuri, or I might be pronouncing this wrong, but it could be Nakia.
Is that
Lupita Nyong'o's character?
That's who the other one is. Who I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I think it might be her more now. She's the first person we see in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right on the beach there.
She's the first person. So I think that also helps. And plus, we know she's combat trained, whereas Shuri is not.
Right.
Shuri is the guy in the chair.
Who is the younger girl in the trailer? Is that?
Riri.
I don't know who that is.
Ironheart.
I don't know who that is. Keep going. What else you got?
That's really all I know about her.
Is it
that's the Iron Man? No. Riri is the female version of Iron Man.
Oh, okay. Was she in the first one?
No. You know when they did like Mighty Thor and a couple other like female versions of the characters?
Right.
She was one of those, and she was one of the better ones.
Oh, okay.
Riri's a very cool character, from what I understand.
I thought that before when to make Shuri like in the new Iron Man because of how techie she was. So is that what they're doing with this Riri? You think they're going to be setting up a new Iron Man or Iron Woman?
Well, I mean, she's getting the show too, Ironheart. And in the trailer,
I missed the Marvel stuff.
It's okay. So in this trailer, you even see her building the suit.
I see her hammering on things.
There's a little iron heart that she makes.
Got it.
Yeah, she's like a female Iron Man. She's cool though.
Yeah, Zeddy says it. Iron Man, Ironheart, Disney Plus series.
Grabs is correct. They did show Leia's funeral. Pretty sure they did. So. Hey, Bob.
Or in a bed with white sheets on her head. I can't remember.
Or was that Padme's funeral?
I can't remember.
I don't know. There's a lot of death in Star Wars.
So that's the two trailers that we saw. Obviously, there was more. There was the Ant-Man one. They showed some other things. And they announced a whole crap ton of things, Chris.
And we got the Ant-Man poster. Where we got our first look at Kang, which he looks so cool.
And then we obviously got the Kang Dynasty, the Avengers movie that's coming out, and then the other one, Secret Wars. So a bunch, Chris. So what stood out from you for the announcements for all the Marvel slate?
X-Men 97.
Okay.
That was not part of the presentation, but X-Men 97.
Nice.
But if we're going back to just the slate, Captain America: New World Order. Very excited for that. I wonder if they're going to bring Sin as the villain. That would be interesting. Blade, of course. We finally have a date for Blade.
Yes.
Amped for that one. Fantastic Four. Really, all of it. I love the MCU. So I'm in for whatever they want to do, really. But the stuff that stood out the most was definitely Cap and Blade.
Were you surprised of the lack of X-Men?
Avengers?
X-Men stuff?
No, I didn't really expect X-Men because I knew we were getting 97 anyway.
Okay.
And I figured D23, is that what it's called? D23?
D23, yeah.
I figured they'll hold maybe X-Men for that.
Jesus.
Zenny said, did you catch the panel of Emmet filming him sending the Batman Beyond box set to the post office? Very cinematic. I heard it was shot by Martin Scorsese.
That's right. Yeah, we did use the cell phone, though.
Phil also knows X-Men 97 is the correct answer.
What's the deal with Magneto's outfit in that one? What do you think about that? Is it a little weird?
No, he's worn it in the comics before.
Okay.
Yeah, he wore it in the Trial of Magneto thing. And when he decided, hey, I don't want to be evil anymore, he decided, hey, wearing this weird robe like Alvin the Chipmunks, this works better. So it's okay.
Phil wants to know, how do we feel about the Spider-Man freshman year? What's that, the animated?
Yes, that animated thing.
Expansion of the Tom Holland universe? Is that what that is?
I don't really think it's... So Tom Holland's not doing the voice.
Right.
And it doesn't look like it's a prequel anymore. I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
But maybe it's not. Whatever it is, though, it looks cool. I'll watch it.
I have no thoughts on it because I really don't know much about it.
It takes place before Civil War.
Okay.
So it's still like prototype Spider-Man. They replaced Tony Stark with Norman Osborn.
What?
Yeah, Norman Osborn is the mentor now.
Oh. Is it What If?
No.
Oh.
Harry's in it. You have villains like Doc Ock, Scorpion. I forgot who else is in it.
Oh, weird.
I mean, Norman's in it, so I'm sure he'll... Oh, Aaron reminded me. Daredevil's in it, and Charlie Cox is doing the voice.
Huh.
So basically, if you don't like Daredevil, you're going to have a bad time over the next couple of years.
That's what I was thinking.
He is a central figure now, going forward. But yeah, it looks like a cool animated series. A lot of their animated stuff looked interesting. Like the Marvel Zombie show, I think is something to watch. But it's X-Men 97. I mean, X-Men is the thing.
Can't beat that.
What do you think of this slate from what you saw?
Yeah, again, I didn't follow it. It's irrelevant to me because I don't look forward to most Marvel movies. Aside from the shows, which are something I really try and get into, no matter which one it is. But it's something about I've seen all of the movies. I recently watched Multiverse of Madness just 2 weeks ago, maybe. It was good. There's just something about the storytelling of these shows shows and movies. It just doesn't grab me. I do get excited from what I do see, like She-Hulk and Black Panther. They all look good, but when the times come to see it, there's something about it that doesn't really excite me. I was surprised about the announcements of the Avengers movies, though, 2 in 1 year. I think that was quite surprising about what the heck this is all going to mean. And, Captain America Civil War was basically an Avengers movie. So I'm wondering the naming of some of these things, and we don't even know who the Avengers are, which is an interesting idea.
Yes, we do not yet.
So it'll be interesting how that comes together. We're going to see that over the next little while, I assume. Obviously, Ant-Man it's funny. Ant-Man used to be the throwaway MCU movies. It feels like the newest one, Quantumania, could be the biggest MCU movie up to date. Just to it's got Kang in it. It's going to bring around all that multiverse.
In it too.
And Bill Murray's in it too.
I don't know who.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting how they, that's one of the more important ones and how they bring it all together. So the biggest surprise, an interesting thing to me out of all of them, aside from that Daredevil thing, which is 18 episodes, which surprised me, but the 2 Avengers movies in 1 year was surprising to me.
I'm particularly excited about Secret Wars. I think I'm going to get a lot of Kang and Ant-Man, of course, so that's cool with me. But Secret Wars is the one I'm really excited for. I'm so excited to see the Skrulls, especially in the Secret Invasion show. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's one that's kind of been, forgotten about a little bit too. The Secret Invasion one, but that's gonna, as we've learned from the very first Iron Man movie, everything matters. The small hints, the after credit scenes, stuff we think is just throwaway lines or throwaway scenes. The MCU builds, it's just one house being built with one brick. Every movie and every TV show is a brick. And it's going to be the tallest building in the world. But yeah, it's interesting. Interesting how that's going to work, how they're going to build it.
So if we're going to think of the MCU have to have vanilla in them and some have too much, does that mean each movie's like a milkshake?
That's right. A bland vanilla milkshake.
I like vanilla milkshakes. I also love the MCU though. So.
Yep.
But I was impressed with the panel. There was a lot of stuff. Like, it was just an information dump.
Yeah.
But so cool. It's cool to see all that stuff be announced. And the thing with Marvel is, while they may shift release dates, when they announce something, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
At some point or another, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have announced 25 projects last night.
Yeah.
We will get all 25 projects at some point.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting how and we mentioned D23 a couple times, how much they've shown of the Marvel stuff. There was no Star Wars at all at Comic-Con. So D23 feels like it's going to be, Star Wars heavy. And maybe we'll get some more stuff from, aside from the 2 Avengers movies, I don't think anything was announced that we didn't know was already coming.
No, there was Captain America: New World Order that we didn't really know.
Daredevil we knew there was a Captain America 4.
Well, yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. We didn't know Daredevil Born Again was coming.
That's right. Okay, we that was an assumption, but no, we didn't know that.
That was an
especially
assumption,
with the 18 episodes. Yeah,
a prayer for some.
Sure.
But that is Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct, Thunderbolts. But yeah, I think you're right. Other than that, nothing was like new.
Everything just kind of they put their foot in the sand, saying this is it. Like everything that you've heard about, everything that you've read about, everything.
There's a lot of confirmations.
Everything that we're building towards, this is exactly what it is. So it'll be interesting how, if we get a D23 or anything coming forward, what's the stuff we haven't heard? Mm-hmm. What's the big surprise? And those 2 Avengers movies, I think did we assume after Loki that Kang was going to be the next big villain? Or is that just me thinking that? No,
we knew that because he was cast in Ant-Man.
Right. Okay. So then the Secret Wars as well. 2 big, and I don't know if anybody was expecting the 2 Avengers movies in 1 year.
I don't think so. Not in 1 year even. Mm-hmm. That's something. I'm very excited.
For sure, that's big, and a lot of people and you see a lot of people talking about it online about Phase 4. It was nothing. It was boring. They didn't do anything. What story are they trying to tell? And like I said, everything matters. Like they're building towards it, and it'll be interesting. Like I said, I want to know who this team is. I want to know who these Avengers are. So that'll be interesting. And I'm trying to think, is what project, movie, TV show between now and that first Avengers movie, is there one in those that will tell us who the new Avengers are? Or do you think that Kang Dynasty one is the forming of these new Avengers?
I would think that we get a hint of it in Secret Invasion, and then that Avengers movies when they come together, and then Skrulls is when they're a team. That would be my guess.
Because that for one thing that I am excited about, that's what I want to see. I want to see how the building of this team is going to be, and I'm wondering who the team is. Like, who is the team? Do you have any sense of who the team is right now, Chris, without seeing anything else?
I would guess it's Cap, of course.
Yep.
Whoever Black Panther is, Daredevil, Spider-Man. I'm going to say Wanda is going to come back and redeem herself.
We didn't talk about this after Multiverse of Madness, but I was wondering that too.
That's my guess, and maybe like Captain Marvel. It's
going to be such a ragtag team of Avengers. That almost excites me a little bit more than the standard True Blue everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Oh, yeah, Grabs is right. Kate Bishop, too. I think it is going to be a real ragtag bunch.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like the idea of that, though, because we've had the established team. We've had the ones you expect. So let's see what happens when the ones you expect aren't around. Tony's dead. Cap is being old somewhere. Thor is probably making jokes in the ether. Everybody's in their own phrase. Oh, Yelena. You'd have Yelena too.
Yeah. As Eddie's got one there. Cap. CM.
Captain Marvel,
Shang-Chi, Strange, Thor, and Spidey.
How about Shang-Chi? Yeah, they have a big roster now to pull from.
Yeah.
And by the time that movie is ready, it'll be even bigger, I think, because you might have the X-Men by then and Fantastic Four.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Control yourself, Chris.
I can't. Can't.
Okay, so Zeddy has been talking about it in the comments.
Uh-oh.
The internet is all about it, Chris. I think you want to talk about it too. Do you want to talk about DC versus Marvel for San Diego Comic-Con purposes only? Not for anything else. If you want to focus on anything, which that I will allow in this conversation. San Diego Comic-Con, DC versus Marvel. What's your stance on it?
So you and I, we're both pretty easygoing about this stuff. It's not a contest. It's really not. To me, what it comes down to is I am a fan of both, and I want to see both excel. And it's frustrating to me as a fan when I see what Marvel did last night, when they just buried, I think, DC with announcements. And again, it's not a versus thing. It's not a competition. But when you look at it from a fan's perspective, I would have loved to have someone from DC come on, even if it was The Rock. If he would have said, all right, so I'm doing Black Adam, Levi's got this, guess what else we've got?
Sure.
And then show a Batgirl trailer. Or, hey, how about, you know what, guys, since The Flash got moved, Batgirl got moved to this part of next year. Fine. Oh, we filmed Blue Beetle? Here's an official look instead of the spy photos that everybody likes to complain about. Why couldn't we do that?
Yep.
It's frustrating. But, at the end of the day, like you said, we win as fans because we get all this stuff, but that doesn't mean we can't ask for more or hope that there could be more since they already have so many things in the can waiting, ready to go. I didn't expect the Flash, of course, for obvious reasons.
I was surprised that there was any remnants of the Flash, especially in that Shazam trailer. It actually showed Ezra Miller's Barry Allen, the Flash, in the trailer. I was very surprised. And Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm like, what's going on here?
That's the one that really, why? Why are doing this?
Well, because technically he's still the Batman in that universe, which we will see in the Flash, right?
Originally, Shazam's going to come out after the Flash.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ben Affleck is back. Nobody come with sticks. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting choice to leave him in there, or maybe the placeholder. I don't know. But it's just a weird thing, I don't think it's a competition. We don't need to. Nobody needs to cut each other's throats over it. It just, you would think that there would be more.
Sure. I don't disagree with everything you're saying, aside from one thing that you said. It's frustrating. I'm not frustrated at all. I agree. It would have been great if we got a Batgirl trailer. 100% would have been great. But to go, we watched that Shazam trailer. I felt great. I'm like, that movie looks real good.
Yeah.
I saw the Black Adam thing. The Rock's hyping it up. Aldous Hodge was on stage, I think. The stuff that I saw in that Black Adam trailer, most of it got me excited. If that was it, if there was no Marvel panel, everyone would be saying, wow, that was great. Everyone would be excited. But then because the team from the other side, the people who always win as well. It's not like Marvel's ever lost in anything that they've ever done since Iron Man. Everything they've done is just a straight uphill climb.
Mostly,
like even the small dips, they're not really dips because they just keep going. I have no frustration about Marvel's done one thing, so why didn't DC do another? I have no frustrations about that. I don't sit at night saying, oh man, this sucks. DC sucks. I do say, oh, I wish we saw more. Yeah. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I want more? To not want more, to not want more of the things that I love, which is DC. I like DC more than Marvel. I like the DC universe, the characters, everything about DC more than Marvel. Of course, I want to see more. But to kick one while they're down, or to put my foot on someone's throat and say, you guys suck because they're doing it better. There is no better. It's just there's multiple ways to do it. And in the end, Chris, you love the MCU. How can you be upset? You love DC as well. You saw everything you saw was good.
Yeah.
You didn't see bad DC things. You saw good DC things. You also saw good MCU things. Two good things are allowed to exist in the same area. They don't.
Sir, do you know what the internet is?
Yeah, that's the problem. This isn't like one of those fish that fight each other.
The beta fish?
Yeah, those beta fish that kill each other. That's not what this is. Okay? They're allowed to be their own thing. And they can be. And of course I want to see more.
Yeah.
DC is in such a weird place right now.
But I think that is what it comes down to in a way. And you said it. It's okay to want more, but I think when it comes to the idea that, well, this one sucks because they did it, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to want more as fans. We're fans. It's what we do. We want to see our favorite characters. Like Grabs finally gets a Booster Gold figure.
Yep.
I'm sure he wanted that. There's some fun comments here too.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Zeddy's got DC gave us what they promoted, nothing more, nothing less. They focused on the next 6 months, which is fine. It just doesn't show confidence in anything else. San Diego Comic-Con was the place to spoil, in my opinion. I kind of agree with that too. Showing more gives a little bit more confidence.
Sure. And when was the last time? Do you remember the last time DC did that at San Diego Comic-Con?
Justice League.
Yeah. And DC is in such a weird place. They announced a slate once, and then they screwed themselves over by basically scrapping the whole idea.
Their own fault, though.
Absolutely. WB scrapped the whole idea, and then since then they've gone through 2 sales.
Yes.
Like the companies have literally been sold, multi-billion-dollar acquisitions and everything. They've gone through obviously the legal problems that we're seeing play out online and in the news and everything. Like what would have happened if they showed a Flash trailer and with Ezra Miller front and center?
Probably chaos.
Exactly. So like they're in a no-win situation as well. They could have shown Batgirl. Why didn't they show a 30-second clip?
Poster or released something.
That
or
doesn't make
it's going theatrical. It's going straight.
It doesn't make any sense why they did it. But again, I'm not upset by it. It's just I don't get it because they could have showed anything. And I agree with Zeddy about, there is a certain time where DC and WB and Zaslav and everyone involved has to say, okay, what are we doing? What is the future of our product?
Exactly.
So it's going to have to come, and I don't know when it is. Especially if they're not doing a fandom this year, which hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, we have a question about that too.
No ideas. So,
Phil says it's all fun and games. Cue the Batman 2. I agree on that one. Joker 2 we'll talk about later.
Okay.
We'll see about that one. Grabs mentioned Batwheels earlier. I forgot to talk about this.
Yeah.
That looks like so much fun.
So much fun.
And Ethan Hawke is Batman. Come on, that's like a winning combination. I never 100%. Knew I needed that until that day. DC doesn't have that much on deck. When you think about it, DC production volume is a kick in the ass. I agree completely on that too.
Mm-hmm.
They have multiple teams.
It's going to be so interesting what the next movie in production is. Like Blue Beetle is done filming, I think.
Yeah, it's done. So
they have nothing in production right now.
No, well,
they're doing the Penguin show in February.
I would think the Batman 2 is next.
We'll see, but like it's in such a weird place right now, and eventually DC is going. Like I said, they're going to have to put their flag in the sand and say this is what we're doing. I don't know if this was the time, considering the sale, considering all the problems that were happening. Who knows? There's no one running DC yet. Also, Hamada is doing it, but in the trades or whatever, they're still looking for somebody for Hamada to report to. There isn't a Kevin Feige, which is what they're looking for. So it's hard to tell, and maybe that's why they did show us only what's coming this year, because they don't know what's coming. They're still working out that plan. I don't know.
Johnny Fernandez asked, "What is that DC thing they do online and release trailers all day?" It's called fandom, but they haven't said anything if it's coming or not. We don't know.
It was in October last year.
I don't think it's coming. What's odd is that Deadline is a reliable source, plus the Rock's tweet about Superman seems like a bad mistake. With hindsight, seems fair to be disappointed by no Cavill. Those are just rumors. The Cavill thing, that took on a life of its own. And the fact that Deadline started it is so weird.
Yeah,
they don't do stuff like that. So it makes me wonder if something fell apart at the last minute.
It's so that whole event was so strange. Like you said, Deadline. The people that is like the voice, the mouthpiece for the studios that time.
Yeah.
And then for other, scoopers or whoever you want to say, who usually don't say that much, but when they do say something, they say something that matters. it was a very strange
Even
situation.
even the Rocks tweet about it, like,
Yeah,
and then when they asked him about it on stage, and Zachary Levi, they were both pretty coy about it. So I don't know. Maybe something just fell apart.
very strange.
Zeddy said, "I don't think DC needed to be at San Diego Comic Con if all they were show was the Black Adam and Shazam trailer. Could have released them on Twitter and had the same effect." I completely agree with that.
I
But we,
disagree
oh,
because of what Comic Con is. It's not for us. It's for the people who go there. It's for the people in at the Comic Con. That's who it's for.
fair, but they didn't even give them anything special.
Well, DC that's fine, but if we're saying DC's not there at all and just let Marvel do whatever they want, or that's another tricky situation. That's a no-win situation for DC. Oh, they weren't even at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, they were there and they showed you some stuff, and you didn't think it was as good as what Marvel showed you.
Fair, but also DC could have said we're skipping Comic-Con because we're doing fandom, and everybody would have said, "Oh, okay."
Sure, and if that's all relying on if fandom is still happening.
The Batwheel song did go hard. I actually really like it. That's what caught me as soon as I started watching it. That song's great.
100%.
Oh, I didn't. DC Patrol's with us. I didn't notice that. DC is obviously holding back. They have every reason. I think it's fine that they kept it close to the chest for now.
You're biased. Look at your name.
No, he's got a point.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with him.
If DC production does speed up, I don't know how a DC fandom could even happen once a year. I think they'd have to change the timing that takes place. I would put it in January.
Mm-hmm.
I think January or February might be the spot.
February, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would work. They're finalizing the Black Adam Peacemaker. I would watch this. This would be so much fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially because they have different temperaments. Sandman, Black Adam, and Shazam 2 are all on deck this year. I'm hyped. I did not watch the Sandman trailer yet, but I'm going to have to because I'm going to watch the show.
I think you should. I think you'll find it really interesting, and that kind of leads into our final discussion about Comic-Con. And Sandman is DC, but it's not WB or
superhero.
It's not HBO Max. It's on Netflix.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a Netflix show. So, when Warner Brothers was there at Comic-Con, they had other things. It wasn't just DC, and one of the biggest things they have was the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon trailer and panel that was released. Let's talk about that one first, and then we'll talk about the Rings of Power. So, what did you think about the trailer? Big first real story trailer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask everybody else what their big things.
There was
were
so much at Comic-Con. We can't do it.
Go ahead and tell us what y'all big things were, and we'll work around.
What did you think about the House of the Dragon's big first story trailer? Probably the last trailer before the show comes out.
I've been on record saying I don't want a Game of Thrones spinoff.
Yep.
I've been on record saying I don't want it. I don't need it. None of us need it. It's a terrible idea. I am itching to watch that show.
Yes.
I feel like that Dave Chappelle gif right now, the cocaine gif.
Yeah.
You got any more of that House of Dragon stuff? That's how I feel right now.
Yep.
It looks amazing.
Concur. The trailer was outstanding. HBO Max or HBO and the Game of Thrones trailers, they have been top tier from the beginning. The way they market and promote the show has been great. I really, really enjoyed the storiness. What a lame way of explaining it, but what the story is of the show. The succession plan of the Targaryens, and the inner fighting of the family, and literally everything we were told. And if you read the books of the Targaryens, how they tore themselves apart.
HBO is really good at succession stories.
Very good. Good one. I like that one. So I'm really hyped about the inner fighting of the Targaryens. I think that's a huge selling point. I'm interested about the cast, who we were talking about how we were falsely accused of saying how Lord of the Rings was cast with basically nobodies.
That was all you.
I know. Yeah. Hey, wait a second. And then conversely, how Rings of Power, there is some names, but they're not big household names. And it'll be interesting and that was a lot with the first Game of Thrones too, in that first season. Aside from Sean Bean, there really wasn't anybody that big
I'm not getting into this again.
Anyway, so it's in. I'll take this one, Chris. So
No,
I
you're
really,
right. So I think it was just Sean Bean, Lena Headley, maybe.
yeah.
And, I think that's it.
Anyway, so I'm really excited about the cast. How they're telling the story. And the trailer specifically was just so good, and it looks outstanding. The dragons look great, which like we know they're spending millions and millions of dollars on the show, but I just thought the production value of this as well just was outstanding.
Yeah, like does HBO just dump trucks of money in front of these visual
so much
effects
money
studios?
Yeah.
Wow, just beautiful stuff in the trailer for it. Like I said, I'm itching for it. Give it to me.
And I think we saw a featurette or a behind the scenes thing from Rings of Power.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure we did.
No,
And it made me think. It made me think
saw the
about.
full trailer.
Yeah, I want to say maybe it was just something. Oh, maybe it was just interviews because I know what's his name, Matt Smith, who's probably the biggest actor in the entirety of that.
He's the only one I recognize, and I didn't know him until I watched Morbius.
Yeah, so I think it was him and whoever's playing Olivia Colman or Olivia Cole,
something like
who's
that.
playing his sister, I think. Or anyway, so they were talking and there was an interview process and it showed some of the sets and everything, and it showed it had the showrunner Miguel. I can't remember his last name. Anyways, he worked on the original Game of Thrones series. Anyways, he's back and they were talking to him about the sets and how everything's bigger this time and everything's more real this time. And it made me think about Rings of Power, how they're setting up for multiple seasons, and how some of the sets from the House of Dragon are obviously very similar to the original series. So I wondered if they even tore down the sets. From
did you see that they said House of Dragon gonna be 4 seasons? Guaranteed?
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah. So they're at least getting 4 seasons of that. So they have a plan, which is interesting.
Well, if you're spending that much money, you have to have some kind of plan.
Yeah, and they canceled the other stuff, so this is the one. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're both excited about that. And then conversely about that, we got a Comic-Con trailer. It's not the first official trailer, which I looked it up today, for Rings of Power. Chris, what did you think about this trailer comparative to that last trailer, which we were a little soft on, I think? What did you think about this?
I liked the last trailer more than you did.
Okay.
But this trailer is better by far. This trailer gives us a sense of what's actually going on in the story.
Yep.
Like now we understand it. And we also get to see Sauron's kind of like his origin. I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. And based on the trailer, it doesn't look like they're going to try to humanize him or make us sympathetic to him. He's just going to be medieval Satan from the start. So all in on that.
Yep.
I think Sauron is just really cool anyway. So I'm into that. And the thing about the Lord of the Rings trailer is like Amazon sunk so much money to this thing. And it shows, in my opinion, you can see it.
Yep.
This thing looks expensive.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a brand new shiny car.
And I like, and I'm not comparing it like a versus thing, but I like how we're getting different flavors between this and House of, is it called House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon.
Okay. I like how it's like 2 different flavors of medieval fantasy stuff.
Agreed.
You got the lighter, more maybe friendlier stuff, and then God knows what's in House of the Dragon.
Yep. I agree, and they have to. And it's not a coincidence that they're both releasing at the same time, so they're kind of dueling. One's Friday, one's Sunday. So they are dueling with each other with that, but I think there is going to be a separation of the two. And no, we talked about this when we were talking about the Game of Thrones trailer, the House of Dragon trailer, how serious it was. And I was wondering if there's going to be humor in it. If there's going to be a Tyrion, a Sam trailer from Game of Thrones. And then conversely with the Rings of Power trailer, it was the same kind of thing. Very serious, very doom and gloom. Is there going to be a Pippin? Is there going to be a Merry? Is there going to be a humor element to both of these stories? Because what they're selling us with the trailers is that it's going to be very, very serious.
I like Rob's comment here. That money showed so hard I expect to see a receipt after the trailer. Yeah, I don't know. I would think that by default, Lord of the Rings will have more humor. I never really thought, like Game of Thrones had humor too, but it was mostly like Tyrion or the Hound with the chicken, stuff like that. It wasn't. Lord of the Rings is much lighter. but
Mhm.
I guess because the hobbits
Yeah.
and Gimli. I think
Potatoes.
Speaking of potatoes, I like potatoes.
Well, yeah, speaking of potatoes, so let's announce something, Kristen. We've kind of been teasing it over the last little while.
We have
Go-
something to announce.
Go for it, Chris.
Uh-oh. How about that?
How about that? So yeah, that's it. We're going to be in Elves, Hobbits, and Potatoes. That's going to be our audio-only podcast covering every episode of Rings of Power. It comes out September 2nd on a Friday, and we will have a episode, audio-only episode, released the following. Frank, outstanding. Covering the entirety of the whole thing. We're excited about it. We're both, obviously big Lord of the Rings fans, but also I think we're really excited. Mediocre to good trailers aside, we're excited to talk all things Rings of Power.
It's going to be a good time.
We're excited about it.
I need to interact. Well, I mean, we'll still kind of talk about it here, but it's mostly going to be regulated to the audio only, kind of like we did with Moon Knight.
Yeah, it'll be just like we did with Moon Knight. We're also going to be talking soon when the House of Dragon comes out. We'll also be talking about that every Sunday, the following Sunday of the episode, right here on the show. Where Grabs, you can interact with us about that if you're watching. Full spoilers for Rings of Power when we talk about it, audio only, and full spoilers whenever we talk about the House of the Dragon. So that's coming. The first episode of that will be out on September the 6th if we release on a Tuesday, or the 7th, depending on a release date schedule. But we'll hammer that out when we get to it.
Elves, Hobbits, and Potatoes.
Elves, Hobbits, and Potatoes. All right, Chris, that's the San Diego Comic-Con talk. That was a big chunk of the week for us, the big chunk of the weekend. Let's quickly talk. Yeah, there's no way we covered it all. There was so much. It was almost too much at times.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So let's talk about a poll that we had last week. And it's interesting, all the big MCU stuff that we talked about, and they announced shared universe. MCU is all about it. Not sure what DC is doing about a shared universe at this point in time. But a poll we had up last week, thanks to the MCU, shared universes have become the goal for almost every film made nowadays. We at Gathering of the Geeks are waiting, of course, for the Driving Miss Daisy spinoffs. And who isn't? But do you like shared universes? The winner depends on the movie. Other options were yes, like it connected, no, standalone, better, and Batman is on HBO Max. I was actually surprised about this one, Chris. Depends on the movie. What are your thoughts on shared universes? MCU is tough. You have to have seen WandaVision to really understand what's happening in Multiverse of Madness. What do you think overall?
And I'm gonna depend on the movie, because I don't think everything needs a universe. Like, there's a John Wick universe coming. Do we need it? I don't know. I'll watch it.
It's got Emmet and Chris in it, right?
Well, yes. So I would do it.
We need it.
I need it. But Emmet. No, I think it just depends on the movie, because now it feels like they're trying to make everything a shared universe. Like Godzilla is a shared universe,
right?
Which maybe it always was. I don't know. Universal Monsters always was, but cool. But then you got stuff like a John Wick, or I imagine Driving Miss Daisy. They would make a spinoff of that now. Yep. Look at Sony's Marvel movies.
Yes.
With Venom, Morbius, Madam Web, Kraven. We don't need that universe. It's different. That's how I feel. Just depends on the movie.
I'm on that general side, but I don't want to have watched something else to understand something else.
Yes,
that's the biggest thing. And specifically WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness. I don't like, and they really hardly explain it. Like, they do a little bit, but there's no real explanation. They actually show a couple of clips here and there. But I think it's tough. And Marvel gets it. They know people are going to watch. They know people are watching all their stuff. They know how many subscribers they have to Disney Plus. They know the box office results they get from their movies. So they know that their product is being watched. So they have the leeway and the runway to have that interconnectedness. I'd rather the smaller stuff. I think of Peacemaker, where the finals, or one of the big scenes in that was when Aquaman, the Flash, and Wonder Woman show up. And okay, that's how it's related. We know those characters; they're in this, but it doesn't mean anything towards the story. It tells me that it's in that universe. I think that's what I want. I want a nice solid pillow at night, and that pillow is
like a wink.
I want a wink. Okay. A little wink, a little something, just to tell me that it's the same universe. But I don't need an overarching story as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't. I just need Wolverine to run on screen. I don't need him to do anything.
That's it. M. Night Shyamalan has a shared universe.
Yeah, I forgot about that until she mentioned it, because Split, Unbreakable, and then was it called Glass?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Unbreakable and Glass. That's right.
Right. That was all one thing.
I was thinking about like Signs and Old. Like
that would be
they're not.
I think that the modern Quentin Tarantino movies are one universe.
Yeah, he's got the small things every once in a while, like Red Apple cigarettes are in every movie.
Yeah, that's a different kind of thing. That's fine. The Vega Brothers, the thing like that. That's fine.
See, that's okay. I like that kind of stuff. That's cool. Frank, you're
I wouldn't mind. Today, I wouldn't mind like Joe Dirt and Dickie Roberts to interact.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think I'd be in for that. And throw in like an Adam Sandler character, but not Happy. Maybe Billy.
I was going to say Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
No, Billy Madison, Dickie Roberts, and Joe Dirt. Let's get a movie of that.
That'd be awesome.
Directed by Peter Farrelly, or the Farrelly Bros, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm not averse to a connected universe, but I'm adverse to a connected story over 30 movies. I can't deal with I don't like that as much, and I don't know if that's a reason why I don't like the MCU as much, because of the overly connected universe that it really is. But it's a huge selling feature, and I think people do like it as well. Do you think people care? Do you think people care, aside from the people in our comments? Do you think the general audience cares?
I think they do. I think you feel more connected when it's a shared universe. I think that you're more invested in it because, like, oh, I know that character. I saw this other thing. I know them. So it's more of an investment thing, and I think it does help.
Awesome. So that's the poll from last week, guys. No poll as of yet. I'm sure Chris will get one up there on our Twitter account very, very soon.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, probably tomorrow. Monday is also for science, we've learned. I don't think we have anything else we want to chat about, Chris. If you have anything, chat about it. If not, hit us up with some plugs, man.
No, I'm good. I think there was just too much to cover. I think I'm
so much.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. In the comments, though, everybody had some different things that they were interested in. We had some John Wick stuff in here. A lot of people saying, Zeddy said Shazam 2 over Avatar 2. I agree. Aaron brought up that Avatar 2 is going to be wedged between Black Panther and Shazam 2. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
It's interesting that Black Panther could be the biggest out of those three. After the comments about the trailer. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one, actually. Lord of the Rings seems to be a popular. Everybody was excited for that. But no, that pretty much covers it.
Nice.
Let's do the plugs. Thank you guys for sticking with us so long. We know we went a little bit longer than usual. Sorry, guys. You guys can follow me on Twitter at that Chris70. And just another reminder, if you guys did watch on Twitter and you tried to comment, we can't see those. You have to come to YouTube and we can see them there. But thank you for watching either way, of course.
You can follow me on Twitter at EmmettDavis7. You can find Gathering of the Geeks wherever you get your podcast, and on YouTube where you're watching right now. Just search Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. We had an outstanding comment group tonight, guys. You were absolutely incredible. Everyone who joined in, Eric, Zeddy, DC Patrol Grabs, Frank, both Phil were in the comments today. Phil Walsh. Juan was in for a bit. Nico said, hey, Lauren was here. Cookie, Aaron, I think that's everybody.
Pretty like it.
One more. And Johnny Fernandez jumped in as well. A couple new people joining us as well. Bob Days, I think I saw
Yes,
as
Bob was
well.
with us.
Awesome. You guys were outstanding. That's 2 weeks in a real 2 weeks in a row of really great comments. Really helps with the conversation. So I want to say thanks to everybody. We'll be back again next Sunday. And don't forget, we've got Elves, Hobbits, and Potatoes coming out in a few, just about 2 months away. So in saying all that, for Chris, I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
Ladies, Gatus.